let's talk about deepening our relationship, because that kind of leads into, what we were just talking about, is that you and I share everything, personally as well as professionally. And that we wanted to talk about how that has benefited, knowing each other so well has benefited both of us professionally as well as personally.
Right.
So I think we wanted to share, there's not a whole lot of people on that. I think pretty much everybody's heard our story. Do you want to go over it briefly, how we met?
Sure, because there's a recording too. So
yeah, that's true. I forgot. You're right.
We met because we were both green businesses. I was exhibiting at a trade show and Cindy was attending the trade show. And she was the most fun, because Cindy will correct me with Miss English over there. The most fun person at the event. She kept coming back to my booth over and over and over again, which I absolutely love. Actually, I said what I usually say is like I couldn't get rid of her, and I didn't want to be honest. And then she invited me to her networking group that she had formed, and which was just people just like her. So I fell in love with people that she surrounds herself with. I fell in love with who she was. We really connected, but it probably took us, what do you think, 2 years to become accountability partners? Something like that?
Oh, yeah, probably. It was probably 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it took a while. And it just happened it happened to be at a trifecta we were doing in the networking group with another gal. And I mentioned that I was doing this LinkedIn program and we were eating lunch and or maybe it was like coffee or something. Anyways, I remember the setting.
Yeah.
So texts are coming up on my phone. So Anita says she's looking for us on Blab and she can't find us. So I don't know if it's not showing or whatever. That might be a reason why that there's low
attendance.
Yeah, low attendance.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah. So, anyways, so we were sitting there and I was talking about a program I was doing, and you said I want to do that too, and then we kind of just fell into this. We didn't know really what accountability partners were. We hadn't been trained or taken program or nothing. We just kind of fell into this, and
I don't even know when we labeled it accountability partners, right? I don't even know that.
Yeah.
Now that we. No, I don't either. I think people just saw us working together and saw that it was working and started asking us how we did it. And so that's why we decided to start talking more about it. But at some point we did call it accountability partners.
Right.
But after we did our first class and our first go through, and the things that we put down in homework for those of you that are looking for an accountability partner, we also were hiking and doing other things that we were interested in. As we started working together a little bit more, and we started talking about our lives in general, especially going hiking. And we've done that, just the two of us. We've done that, like you reminded me, with networking people. It's a great way to meet people in a different environment, and find out a little bit more about them personally. It helps to build that trust. And what you and I have talked about is how much that, again, like I said, how much we help each other because we know our story. Right. So, yeah. And so I think one of the things that you and I had talked about that's important if you want to get to know your accountability partner better, which will help your business, is asking their story, finding out their story, right? So, so what do you think would be a good way for somebody to do that?
Well, I think just thinking about the way we've done it, when things have happened, because it takes some time, first of all, to build that trust that you're going to open up and say things that have happened to you in your life, right? Stuff that you don't usually share with the entire world. So first of all, you have to have that trust there. And that just happens with working together over time. But when you're talking to your accountability partner and they're saying, like they're afraid of something, or they're having a block with something, or something's going on, ask them, like, where does that come from? Why do you think that is? And asking those questions when you're drilling down. And one of the things that Cindy and I just did an exercise recently, which I learned from Fly on the Wall, is you ask a question and then you say, and what else, or why is that? And you keep going, because the level of where it's really at is like normally the 4th or 5th level down before it starts really exposing the true fact there. And I think Cindy and I found that too, where we're, you know, we talk about things. And I mean, just last week, Cindy and I were talking about something that she had, her counselor had told her. And I was like, oh, so that means when you say this,
right,
that is where you're going with that, which I hadn't pulled out the deepest level of that. I had heard the message she was saying, but I didn't hear the deep until the counselor said this. And I don't think you had realized it yet either.
Oh,
right,
no,
Cindy?
no, it's definitely helps connect the dots. Right. So I think you and I both think that, I mean, we're always learning and we're always growing in all areas of our lives. And some things we're working on consciously, some things unconsciously, but having another person that cares about you and knows you and can connect those dots is amazing. It just, I think that is really one of the things that helped propel us by leaps and bounds in both our business as well as our personal life. And I want to say personal life, like we talk about things like our kids and, you know, our husbands and, you know, the Sharks being in the Stanley Cup and how it's messing up with our plans, right? So we talk about everything, but a lot of times when I say personally, there's things, you know, so I have this stuff going on with financial insecurity. And, you know, I've talked about it and I've affirmed it. And you know, I went back to my counselor and, but having you help me connect those dots only propels me faster than I would be doing this on my own. And that shows up in our business. And so that's how those personal blocks and things like that, they do show up and affect your business, and how by having somebody that knows that part of you can help propel you in that area.
Yeah. And I have to say that before I met Cindy, like I had a couple of ladies who I would say were truly my best friends, who had, I mean, one of them I've known for 20 plus years now. The other one I had known for maybe 10 or 15 at the time that we started being accountability partners. But Cindy knows me deeper and on a different level than anybody in my life. Like I'm talking my husband too. Like she knows what I'm going through at the moment, where with my husband, he's not checking in on me daily, you know, saying, okay, how are you doing? What's your latest fear or block or whatever, right? Because it's just not really how a normal relationship is. But accountability partners are different because you're going through the motions together. I mean, my husband doesn't want to hear about my business 24/7 either. So, right. Or Cindy and I are working on the business things. When we're brainstorming things, organically, it comes out things that we're going through. When I'm like, hey, let's brainstorm on this, you know, and then I'll say, oh, I don't know, I'm afraid to do this, or you know, I have this block with this, and then she'll say, well, where does that come from? And she knows everything, like everything. There is no secrets that Cindy doesn't know, but we formed that over 3 years. It's not like before we became accountability partners, she knew all that. Right. She didn't. And I didn't know about her, but so now we can connect the dots. Now we can help each other through things. Now we're able to, instead of something that would take me going to a counselor and then working through it, it's like so much quicker. Right. No, absolutely. And even though I did go to a counselor, right, our hikes and our talks are so therapeutic, right? And the counselor has different tools. Right. So she has different tools to help me get through where you and I both felt like, the eye movement. I'm like, I'm going to bring EMDR to help you. Okay, good. I like that. So, but so it's an extra tool that we have to where then even then it's still helping me connect the dots. So, I love that for sure. Right. So I think it's really important to understand what's happening with you personally is affecting your business too, whether you believe that or not. But if you are very aware of it, you're going to see, like, if you're stressed out in your personal life, that affects your business. If you have blocks in your personal life, because blocks could be beliefs you have about yourself, that's going to affect your business. And having the accountability partner who grabs you by the hand and says, it's okay, let's walk through this together, and I'm going to help you identify these things. It's so amazing. And having the trust, building the trust,
because like you said, it develops over time, but it is by asking those questions, you know, where's that from?
Right.
And if
Right.
the person isn't ready, they're going to let you know, right? They're not going to be as forthcoming.
Right.
And maybe it'll just take time, and maybe that's not your person.
Right.
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 So you and I were lucky that we found our person
Right.
that we know too, that has developed over time, that we know we come from a place of caring. And that doesn't mean there's times that you say stuff to me that I'm like, I don't want to hear that right now.
Right. That's true.
Or I'm really mad at you for saying that.
Right.
Or that's making me really angry because I don't want to look at that.
Right.
So, and that's okay. I mean, we get through that. We walk through it because we're both committed to working and helping each other. And we know, bottom line, that we love each other.
So one thing I want to mention,
yeah.
I think all of us have met this type of person. So you have that person that you've met, that you've known them for years, and you don't really know them. You know them at such a surface level because they have so many walls up. That's not somebody who's going to be an accountability partner that you can go deep with. Mm-hmm. You can do programs with them.
Absolutely.
Right? You can do that kind of stuff. But if you're trying to find somebody who you can go deep with, that you feel like you trust them and you know them inside and out and vice versa, that's not your person. Mm-hmm. So just watch the relationship as you go along.
Right. No, absolutely. That's really good. That's a good tip.
Thank you. Thank you.